What's good, everybody? Sean Shula Rosenberg in the building. Hold on. Back at you with another video. Man, can Drake ever catch a break? So it turns out XXXTentacion friends apparently got some revenge on Drake. And a new video from Hip Hop Fantastic Hip Hop made a video called How XXXTentacion's friends finally got revenge on Drake's, which I didn't know about. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Hold on a second.
Now at this point for Drake, things really couldn't get any worse for most other artists because from his reputation to his new music releases since the Kendrick beef, everything's been at an all-time low in all senses of the phrase, but now most recently, while everything has been seemingly turning on Drake and his career is reaching a rock bottom that only few other former superstars have remotely even been close to, the one thing that Drake still has had going for him is that he is not from the US or from a region that is occupied by any other major players in the rap world. And because of this, he has had full control over his own country of Canada and most importantly, his home city of Toronto, as from trying to embrace the Six more than he has in years to try and invalidate the claims Kendrick said about him on Not Like Us about Drake never leaning into his city's roots, to then using his power in the region to ban Kendrick Lamar affiliate Schoolboy Q from being able to even perform in the city, which while not being fully confirmed initially that Drake did this, we now have further confirmation that this actually was the case and he is not allowing people who went against him or stood by Kendrick to perform in Toronto.
Well, there it is. That's the proof. A lot of people were speculating that Drake was indeed banning Kendrick's crew, the Black Hippies affiliates, which is Schoolboy Q, from performing in Toronto. Well, we all thought it was just the Canadian police or somebody from the promoter told Schoolboy Q and his team, hey, listen, we're canceling. But now according to Fantastic Hip Hop and according to a lot that's been said on Twitter, I guess it's true. Now, if Drake really did this, if Drake really did this, then it's clear as day that Drake is really become more just basically more of a sore loser than ever. Like Drake, you can't do that. You can't block certain artists to come to your city to perform because you lost the beef against Kendrick. It's funny. It's just like you allowed your artist Party Next Door to come to California to perform at one of their venues, but you can't allow Kendrick's team, one of his affiliates, to come and perform in Toronto. Now, this is more of an L you're taking. Now, it seems to me like you're about to have the United States is not, America's not really rocking with you right now, and now, not the whole country of United States is not rocking. It's just majority of them. There's a few people in America that still have support for Drake. But I'm like I said, I'm still a Drake fan. I'm still going to be checking for the music. I just don't like the certain antics that he's doing. Like this right here. I don't like the fact he's blocking Schoolboy Q from coming to Toronto to perform. I do not like that. Like Drake, you got to play fair. You got to play by the rules. You got to play the game right. You can't just be one-sided and expect we got to play by your rules. No, we got to play by both sides. We gotta play it the way how it's always been played. Because if you're doing that, if you're stopping artists from coming to Canada, especially your hometown of Toronto, you're definitely going to start a war. You're going to start a war between two countries. And we don't want that. And it's now just been reported that another TDE artist by the name of Sir is starting, that his show got canceled. And this has, and it, Drake, you're gonna have the whole world turn on you. You just basically want the whole world to turn on you. That's what you want to do. You're not and it's just like, oh my God, I don't know how to say this. Drake, let me just play it.
As R&B singer and TDE signee Sir came to play in Toronto as well and was told that he could not perform.
This is what exactly I was talking about right here. You blocked Sir from coming to Toronto. Yeah, let me just let this continue playing.
At this point, with everything against him, now Drake has been using his home city as a safe zone where he can cut people off who he does not like from being even able to show up in his city and do the job that they were supposed to. But even with this said, if Drake really wants to ban all of his rivals, he is going to have to work much harder and ban a lot more people, because right now, around the same time of all of this, former collaborator and a good friend of XXXTentacion, DJ Scheme, came into Toronto for a show at the venue Drake is a partial owner of. And during his set, he played Not Like Us, and as this clip went viral online, and the entire world just saw people in Drake's hometown singing the song that has destroyed him, people did not just humiliate him even more, but somebody who was banned from Toronto like Schoolboy Q showed respect to Scheme for standing up against Drake and the ridiculous stuff he is doing. But what's most important about this whole moment is that
shout out to DJ Scheme. Shout out to him to basically have the guts to go to Toronto, do his set, and to perform and to play that record. Shout out to him. You know, because I know Drake has a lot of big ties in Toronto, and he would have got, because I don't get it. When Rick Ross went to Toronto, when he played, well, not Toronto, when he went to Canada to play that, he got beat up. But when DJ Scheme played it in his home city, I think nothing bad happened to him. Which is very weird. Drake, you're creating a lot more enemies than ever. You're getting a lot more enemies. Dude, at this point, it's just going to make it seem like Kendrick's bars are going to start hitting more harder than ever.
None other than X's best friend and most iconic collaborator in the entire music industry, Ski Mask the Slump God, also went on social media to celebrate that DJ Scheme disrespected the last thing Drake held sacred, and the reason why Scheme did this, and Ski supported it so hard to send a tweet out and let the world know how he is feeling, was not directly because they are Kendrick fans who were trying to stick up for somebody like Schoolboy Q directly, although this was definitely a part of it. But for them, it was to nod to their close friend XXXTentacion, who despised Drake and, in his honor, dissed Drake in a way that would hit harder than anything else they could do. But before we look at how and why X's friends carried out his mission of destroying Drake, and what this really means for them, We need to shout out today's sponsor, Prize Picks, which is the most exciting way to pick and submit my answers and stats to my USA basketball scores. Just a description or pinned comment. I want to try out the #1 way to bring back to Drake's most disturbing rap beef. When it comes to the past of Drake and X, it is one of the most complicated relationships Drake has ever had with any other artist he's been in opposition with. And while a lot of people have some crazy conspiracies about what went down between these two, while we can look into the speculation and try to put things together, Ski Mask and Scheme have told us directly everything that we need to know, as they have publicly been on record saying that they hate Drake, not because they believe the conspiracies are true, which is something Ski Mask has clearly went out of his way to say. But even with this, as Scheme has stated, his fundamental issue with Drake is that after the loss of XXXTentacion, all Drake did was play on the conspiracies people were throwing out to build that tough guy image that he has tried so hard to pull across, as on tracks like I'm Upset all the way back in 2018.
Yeah. This tough guy role that Drake is playing, this is completely backfiring. Drake tried, and now everything's coming to life. Like, just like Kendrick said on Euphoria. I'm gonna keep saying this. He said it on Euphoria. I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he acts tough. And we all know Drake is not built for that. He's not about that life. He comes from a middle-class background, from a rich neighborhood, going to a Hebrew school. We all know that. This is why Drake should have took the advice from Lil Wayne. When Lil Wayne told Drake, when Drake was about to blow up, Lil Wayne gave him the advice and told him, hey, rap about the stuff you know, basically about your your TV shows. Stay on your pop lane. Don't try to be a gangster rapper. Don't rap about the stuff about, the gangster stuff that all these other rappers, including myself, that I'm doing. Stick to what you know. Stick to your pop lanes. Make all those pop records. Drake should have stayed with that lane, but instead he wanted to become this mob-type gangster rapper and do all this gangster stuff just to try to fit in, which that was the wrong approach Drake should have taken. And I already know there are going to be some Drake fans talking about, oh, but he is a part of that. No. We got to stop that. Let's not use Jay Prince or his son, Jay Prince Jr. Let's not use that as an excuse. Let's be real with this. Drake comes from a middle-class background. He's not about that life. You guys can't convince me. This is my opinion. You guys cannot convince me he's not that he's about that life. He's not. It's plain and simple. Like, Kendrick does not see no threat in Drake at all. He doesn't see him. And it seems to me like more of this stuff about Drake is starting to come to the life. It's starting as clear as day that he's not who he said who he is. Hadn't Drake just stayed true to his true self, like with the whole thing with the accents, like, dude, you don't need to pretend you're somebody else. Now, I would say this, because he does use a lot of the accents. Hadn't Drake stayed with more of his true nature, because he is from Toronto, he is a Canadian. If Drake would have stayed with the Toronto accent, I would have had no problem with it. I'd be like, okay, this guy, he is Canadian. He's truly Canadian. He's from Toronto. So he's truly what he is. But I don't like the fact he's pretending to be pretending to be something just to fit in. I don't like that. Just be yourself. Don't be this fake persona just to try to win the crowd over, just to try to fit in with the culture. That's not how it works. Hadn't Drake just stayed true to himself, we would he wouldn't get all this flack as he's getting right now. Hadn't Drake should have just stayed in his pop lane. I've said that before. I haven't posted it on social media, but I talked to a couple of friends of mine. We said the same thing. Had Drake just stayed in his pop lane, he wouldn't get much of this flack. Now, you guys know me. I don't like to run to the internet and type do all these tweets and stuff and say, "Oh, I'm not like a social media crazy lunatic fan that will just go and post stuff every day." That's not me. I see this stuff. I might tweet something here or there, but I'm not going to be like a crazy person and go all the way out. I give my honest opinion on my own of it, and I just keep it to myself. Even though I'm saying this now, but most of the times I would keep it to myself because I don't like to put it all out. But I'm just hoping Drake can just learn a lesson from this, like, and man, I just hope Drake. I know, like I said in previous videos, I hope Drake is just, sitting back and reflecting on how he could have handled this beef or how he could have maneuvered in different angles, how he could maintain to keep his career alive, to save his career. Well, let's just continue with the video.
To On BS from Her Loss in 2022. Drake has not stopped dropping bars that don't just coincidentally mirror what he has been accused of doing to X, but they are intentionally designed to play into the idea of what he has been accused of. And although Scheme and Ski seem to know that Drake was not actually responsible for what happened to their close friend, they still despise him for just acting like such a disgusting human being throughout this entire situation, as he hasn't just not shown any empathy or respect for X, but just so his music can get more attention and streams. He has actually mocked and disrespected such a serious situation, so this brings us here to most recently, where Scheme just embarrassed Drake even more than he has been this summer by playing the most anti-Drake song there has ever been right in a building that he literally owns. And now, while it's honestly crazy in the first place that Scheme was able to even perform at this venue, as he has made it very public that he does not like Drake over the years, I guess with everything going on, Drake forgot about this feud he has had with X's friends and let them sneak past the border, and as they have been the only group of people so far that are against Drake who have been able to actually play since the beef in Toronto, they didn't just have a chance to play their music in the city that's live music scene is about to change drastically, but they had the opportunity to check Drake, embarrass him, show a sign of respect to a rapper like Schoolboy Q who lost the ability to even come to Toronto, and most importantly for Scheme and Ski Mask, and why they have even instigated this feud and spoken out about how they feel nothing but bitterness for Drake. They created such a pivotal moment in the music world by doing this, and with Kendrick Lamar's music being the voice of this Hall of Fame level response they are giving to Drake after years of him taunting X. When you also consider that Kendrick was a massive fan of X and he supported his music just because he was able to resonate with the raw emotion he showed that only few other artists of his time could replicate. All of this seems like it could not have lined up better if you tried, because every single thing that went down with this one clip made for the perfect way to kick Drake even more when he has already been stuck on the ground. And while it's not necessarily the go-to way in any sort of musical feud to kick another artist when they're down, as Drake has done nothing but kick around their good friend XXXTentacion in lyrics ever since 2018. I think if you're gonna go as far...
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. If you're dissing an artist that's not here anymore, then I don't really respect that. That's another thing about Drake that I don't like. Like, you're being like, dude, your name was thrown into this whole conspiracy that you had a role of XXXTentacion. I think I said his. Think I don't want to get his name messed up. I know a lot of people are going to be on the comments correcting me, but I don't like the fact that artists do that. I hate when artists sneak diss another artist at when they after they passed away. I don't like that. I'm against artists who do that. Now, despite me being being a fan of Drake, I don't. But despite me being a fan of Drake, I don't support this. I'm not a Drake stan, so I'm a Drake fan. By me being a fan, I have to play by the middle. This, I don't agree with Drake is doing. Because when I heard those two songs from that one song from the album, from the Scorpion album and from the Her Loss album, I didn't like that. I'm going to be honest, I did not like that. Like Drake, you should not be dissing somebody that's dead and gone. You should not be dissing a dead person. Because when you do that, that's going to come back to haunt you. I don't like that. I'm saying that I don't like that. I don't support any artist that disses a dead artist. I don't support that. That's wrong. And if you're one of those artists out there that's going to be dissing other artists that are dead, then I'm not going to support you. I'm not saying Drake does that, but subliminally doing that, that's wrong.
Far to do something like that. Whole rules are off, and this was really the ultimate way of paying respect to X and showing that while he may not be here currently to defend himself from Drake and their beef, which started all the way back in 2017, when Drake stole X's flow from Look at Me and didn't own up to it, that they will still find a way to make the damage done to Drake even worse than what he has tried alluding to about X, because at the end of the day, at this moment in time where everything is against Drake and now even in his own city, it has been proven that people there will openly scream every lyric to a track that embarrasses and exposes Drake in a way that we will probably never see about any other artist in our lifetime again. It just shows that even on Drake's home turf, despite his ability to ban people he doesn't want coming from playing there, the people who actually live there don't have the same type of respect for him that other areas in hip-hop have for the artists that come from their cities, which at the end of the day, when we look back to a Drake diss track like Push-Ups and see lyrics like this, it only makes things even funnier and more ironic, because this beef didn't just unite LA, but now at this point, it has brought together what feels like the entire US against Drake, as rappers from all around the country have publicly bashed him, and now even in Toronto, on the ground that Drake is trying to defend, as it's the last place he thought he could hide from his failure in. Even this hasn't lasted, and this is not just about Kendrick Lamar anymore, but after years of taunting somebody who can't even defend themselves. The fact that Scheme pulled this off is amazing, and it really just shows, while Drake fans try to make it out like he is some victim still, that when he's getting dissed by all of these other rappers and teams, it is mostly because he has just done horrible things to other people, and right now, I'm sure that X is smiling down and seeing that Drake finally got what he deserved. So with all this said, let me know, do you think XXXTentacion's friends did a good job at trolling Drake and making this absolute nightmare that his career is in get even worse? Or do you think that Drake has still been left off way too easy considering the horrible things he has alluded to about X? I can't wait to hear what you have to say, and if you want to hear how things are about to get much worse for Drake as A$AP Rocky plans to drop a diss track on him, check out the suggested video.
Drake better be well prepared, because there's going to be a lot more heat coming his way. Like, dude, Drake, you're doing all this petty stuff and then this is all backfiring. It truly is. You are seriously making this more difficult than ever. Like, dude, Drake, just don't say anything. Don't say anything else. Get off social media. You already on a lot of people's bad side as it is. Just stay off. And this is not me going at Drake. This is me telling Drake, calling out Drake's antics of what he does. Like, this is not a good look. But I have to give props to DJ Scheme for that. I got to give him props. Now, this is not me glorifying that that this record should be played in Toronto, because if Drake is pulling strings behind the scenes to not get certain records played, especially in Toronto and Houston, then he has the right. I mean, then, and if he's stopping that, and he's not have the right, but if he's not playing fair, then I feel like any person that's against Drake should basically just go all the way out, and be like, you know what? No, we're not gonna let Drake think he gonna dictate to what certain people can and cannot do. And I got to give props. And it takes guts, like I said, it takes guts for DJ Scheme to play that record in Toronto. That takes guts. And he didn't care. Now, a lot of people will look at it as that was a bad move. But it takes guts to be like, you know what? It's F Drake. I don't care about this guy. I'm going to go to Toronto. And at this point, I'm going to play that record. You got to give props to DJ Scheme. Got to give props to him. But yeah. But let me know in the comments down below. Do y'all think this was a smart move on DJ Scheme? Or do y'all think this is just... Was this a smart move on DJ Scheme to play the record? Or was this like, okay, something's bad's gonna happen? I pray to God nothing bad happens. I don't pray that no one gets killed. You know, this is just hip hop. Let's just keep this in hip hop, and let's not take it to a personal and where someone's gonna get killed. Leave a like down below in this video. I have been slacking on saying, slacking on saying leaving a like or subscribe to my channel. I've been slacking on saying that, so I'm gonna start saying that from now on. But also subscribe to the channel as well. Leave a like I said. Also, if you want to join the Discord community, which is the hip hop community talk of the culture with Mikhail and friends, I'll leave a link in the description down below. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely also, I've been hearing rumors that we're potentially going to get round 2 of the whole Kendrick and Drake beef. It was just rumors right now, but Kendrick is gearing up for something pretty soon. So I'll be on the lookout for that. But let me know let me know in the comments down below what y'all think of this. So I'm glad. Yeah. Well, yeah. That I'm still processing because I'm still new to YouTube. So I may stutter a lot and I may not get my words out how I want it, but just bear with me on this. But yeah. But anyways, thank you for the support, and I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.